Klay Thompson's dad ended up checking Monica McNutt and everybody who has the same ideology that she has when it comes to why Caitlin Clark is famous and why she's such a big phenomenon in this world, man.
Well, they don't like Caitlin Clark. You know, Caitlin Clark, I've been noticing, I've been following her career since she was a sophomore at Iowa, and I recognized how different she was, how different she played the game. She played the game like Steph Curry. We had never seen a woman play like that before.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well, I was just about to say same thing for Angel Reese when I had a chance to cover their games. But I think Caitlin represented, and again, some of this to me probably is not fair to her because it was not anything that she said or was truly based on her personality, but she was a white girl from the middle of America. And so she represented a whole lot to a lot of people, whether that is truly what she prescribed to or not. We can all say she is a dynamic basketball player and a force both on the court and the marketing sense. But I do think same thing with folks that may have fallen in love with Angel Reese that may or may not have agreed with everything they had to say either. We attach our fandom to these icons for all types of reasons.
The WNBA and all the people that follow the WNBA and try to promote the WNBA don't understand that Caitlin Clark's game resonates with us. I say this every day, and every day I got to deal with somebody else dumb in the media. Caitlin Clark's game resonates because she's got flair, she's got flash, she's got style. I said this before, and I'll say this again. We saw Sue Bird's game. We saw Diana Taurasi's game. Kim Mulkey was Sue Bird before Sue Bird became Sue Bird. We've seen it. We haven't seen Caitlin Clark. The folks that cover the NBA, these people that play in the NBA, these people that cover the NBA, there, I said these people, all of you, black, white, green, purple. Why don't you understand a very simple thing? Her game is dynamic. Like Diana Taurasi was like a jackass to Caitlin Clark. Why? Her game is what people are drawn to. And then you go to the personality. Her game is different than any WNBA woman ever. And she wins, and she shoots from deep. It's no different than Steph Curry. How many times we got to say it?
But honestly, the main reason is because of her talents. It's not because of her race. Her race has nothing to do with it. You know, especially with kids. She's saying kids don't see color, man. The kids that I grew up around, and when I grew up as a kid, I didn't see color, man. I did not see color. I didn't care about color. I didn't know what color was. I just knew you were a human being, and I was trying to be your friend. It's kind of a crazy, nonsensical take to say that kids were looking up to her because she was white.
You would have the Sky in the playoffs right now, which means that Angel Reese, in theory, has impacted winning in a greater way. But I think the double-double streak that she's on, the 8 consecutive double-doubles, for Caitlin, she's leading rookie.
What do you get when an NBA legend takes down a top ESPN analyst over racial bias in women's basketball? You get a showdown that's shaking the sports media world. Mychal Thompson, two-time NBA champion, is calling out Monica McNutt for her controversial comments about Caitlin Clark. So why is Thompson, a seasoned NBA vet, stepping into the ring to defend Clark? And why does McNutt keep dismissing her? Stick around because this one's going to get heated. Caitlin Clark is not just another player on the court. She's a once-in-a-generation talent that's changing the game of women's basketball. When you think of shooting, who comes to mind? Steph Curry, right? Well, Caitlin Clark is doing the exact same thing in women's basketball. She's not just hitting threes from the arc. She's knocking down shots from well beyond the logo, stepping into deep threes with the kind of confidence and accuracy that makes defenders question their own existence. This is not just long-range shooting. It's a whole new dimension to the game, never before seen in women's basketball. And it doesn't stop there. Clark's shooting range is jaw-dropping, but it's her overall style of play that's revolutionizing the sport. She's changing the way the game is played. Imagine pulling up for a deep three-pointer while simultaneously scanning the court for a perfect assist. That's Clark's signature style. She's playing with an intensity, an energy, and a flair that's capturing the attention of basketball fans everywhere. The way she plays, the skill, the hustle, the charisma, it's something we've never seen before in the women's game. And it's what's making her a household name. But her talents go far beyond just scoring. Caitlin Clark is a master of playmaking. Her court vision? Unmatched. Her ability to read the game, make pinpoint passes, and create opportunities for her teammates is what sets her apart from so many other players. She doesn't just break down defenses with her scoring. She manipulates the game with her basketball IQ, setting her teammates up for easy buckets. This is why fans flock to see her play, because she's more than just a scorer. She's a complete player who can dominate in every aspect of the game. Clark is breaking records left and right, NCAA records, WNBA milestones, you name it. She's not just playing for herself. She's paving the way for women's basketball to reach new heights. But despite all of this, some people still refuse to acknowledge her talent, instead focusing on everything but her skill. Why is that? Why is it that, even with her undeniable talent, there are still those who refuse to see her as the generational player that she is? The answer lies in the controversy that's about to unfold. And now, let's talk about Monica McNutt. A former basketball player and current ESPN analyst, McNutt recently stirred the pot with some highly controversial remarks about Caitlin Clark's rise to fame. According to McNutt, Caitlin's meteoric rise isn't because of her insane talent, her record-breaking performances, or her ability to revolutionize women's basketball. No, according to McNutt, it's because Caitlin Clark is a white girl from the middle of America. Let that sink in for a moment. Here we have someone who's been around basketball her whole life, someone who has watched players rise to prominence, and yet, instead of acknowledging Clark's incredible work ethic and undeniable skill, McNutt chooses to reduce her success to something as shallow as her race and background. It's not just frustrating, it's insulting. McNutt completely disregards everything that makes Caitlin Clark so extraordinary. It's not her ethnicity or where she's from that makes her a star, it's her game. It's her ability to change the trajectory of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark has earned every ounce of recognition she's received, and it has nothing to do with her skin color. The highlight reels, the countless hours spent perfecting her craft, the historical records she shattered, those are the things that have made her a household name, not some superficial demographic trait. Yet, McNutt's comments overlook all of that, focusing instead on a narrative that's not only misguided but downright harmful. But this isn't the end of the story. There's someone who isn't afraid to call out this ridiculous take, and that person is Mychal Thompson, the two-time NBA champion. Now, this is where things get interesting. Thompson has a perspective on this that is grounded in decades of experience, and what he has to say will challenge everything you've just heard. Now, imagine this: Mychal Thompson, an NBA legend, father of NBA star Klay Thompson, and someone who's shared the court with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and other basketball royalty, admitting he was starstruck by Caitlin Clark. Let that sink in for a moment. This is a guy who's been around basketball greatness his entire life. He's played with the greats, and he's raised one of the most celebrated shooters in NBA history. Yet, when Caitlin Clark walked by him, he froze. He couldn't say a word. This moment is truly humbling. Here we have a man who has experienced some of the highest levels of basketball, the brightest stars and the most legendary players, and yet, when faced with Caitlin Clark, a WNBA phenom, he was in awe. He was starstruck by her game. This isn't just a casual admiration. This is a veteran who's seen it all and is still blown away by the sheer talent of this young player. Thompson himself admitted that, despite being a basketball legend, he was genuinely impressed by Clark's game. He wasn't just giving her a passing compliment because she's a WNBA player. He was recognizing a talent that he believes is unlike anything he's seen before. And Thompson doesn't throw around compliments lightly. When he calls someone special, people listen because he's been there, done that, and has the perspective to back it up. So, why is it that someone like McNutt, who's supposed to be an expert in the game, can't see what Mychal Thompson sees? Why can't she acknowledge Clark's true talent the way someone like Thompson does? This discrepancy isn't just about basketball analysis, it's about something deeper. Let's dig into that and find out why McNutt's stance is more about personal bias than professional insight. As soon as McNutt made her remarks, the response was immediate and overwhelming. The social media world erupted in outrage, with fans from all corners of the globe coming to Caitlin Clark's defense. It wasn't just basketball fans. People from all walks of life took to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to call out McNutt for undermining Clark's talent by reducing her success to racial stereotypes. This wasn't about basketball anymore. It was about principles, respect, and acknowledging true talent. Fans felt insulted by the suggestion that Caitlin Clark's rise to fame was somehow due to her race rather than her undeniable skill. The backlash wasn't just a few angry comments. It was a tidal wave of support for Clark, with hashtags trending worldwide, rallying behind the idea that Clark's success was earned through hard work, determination, and a revolutionary approach to basketball. But perhaps the most shocking part of McNutt's comments was her hypocrisy. Let's not forget, McNutt works for ESPN, the same network that broadcasts Caitlin Clark's games and, let's face it, profits from her popularity. McNutt's role in the media is built around the very athletes she's dismissing. So, why would she try to undermine Clark's success? Was it about personal bias, or was it an attempt to diminish a woman who's shaking up the basketball world? The reality is that Caitlin Clark's appeal is universal. It transcends race, geography, or any other demographic factor. Fans tune in to watch her because of her incredible basketball IQ, her ability to shoot from anywhere on the court, her playmaking skills, and her ability to take control of a game. It's her talent that fills arenas, not the color of her skin. Caitlin Clark is breaking records, drawing in crowds, and inspiring the next generation of players to dream bigger and work harder. Her impact isn't just on the scoreboard, it's on the entire landscape of women's basketball. The fact that someone like McNutt can try to reduce her to a mere symbol of her ethnicity is not just short-sighted, but damaging to the sport's progress. Now, let's dive into something Mychal Thompson coined, the Jeep theory. No, it's not about off-roading or adventure. It's about the deeper forces of human emotion that drive people to undermine greatness. Thompson argues that there are 4 key factors at play here: jealousy, envy, egos, and pettiness. These 4 forces are fueling the anti-Caitlin Clark narrative that has been perpetuated by people like McNutt. Let's break it down. First, there's jealousy. Caitlin Clark has burst onto the scene and immediately captured the spotlight, and not everyone is happy about that. For players and analysts who've been around for years without reaching her level of recognition, seeing someone come in and immediately dominate can breed feelings of jealousy. Then, there's envy. Envy from others who have worked just as hard, if not harder, but haven't been able to break through in the same way Clark has. It's a tough pill to swallow when someone new comes in and takes over, especially when the media and fans start to place that player on a pedestal. But that's not all. The third element is egos. People don't like it when someone new steals their spotlight. Caitlin Clark has quickly become the face of women's basketball, and that challenges the egos of those who are used to being in control of the narrative. People don't like to admit that someone else has better skills or has changed the game in a more profound way. And finally, there's pettiness. There's a lot of petty behavior happening here, from downplaying Clark's achievements to attempting to shift the narrative about why she's popular. It's a classic case of people who can't accept a new force in the game, so they attempt to discredit it in any way possible. What's frustrating is that McNutt, instead of celebrating Clark as a once-in-a-lifetime talent, is allowing her personal biases to drive her comments. It's not about basketball, it's about ego and jealousy. McNutt can't seem to admit that Caitlin Clark is the real deal, and that, above all else, she's earned everything she's accomplished. As we peel back the layers of McNutt's commentary, it becomes clear that it's not just about basketball, it's personal. From the very beginning, McNutt has consistently shifted the goalposts every time Caitlin Clark achieves something remarkable. When Clark breaks records, McNutt downplays it, suggesting that it's not a big deal or that it's somehow less significant because of external factors. When Clark is dominating the league in assists, McNutt finds a way to credit other players or other circumstances. It's as if Clark's success can never be fully acknowledged on its own merit. Take, for example, the moment when Caitlin Clark led the league in assists as a rookie. Instead of applauding Clark for her incredible vision and adaptability, McNutt tried to steer the conversation toward external factors, like team success or individual accolades. When Clark achieved historical milestones, McNutt brushed them off as if they didn't matter. This isn't analysis, it's bias at its core. McNutt is so determined to find ways to diminish Clark that she overlooks the very qualities that make her so special. And let's talk about McNutt's body language. Have you ever watched her on ESPN during Caitlin Clark's highlights? It's not subtle, her eye rolls, her dismissive gestures, the lack of enthusiasm when talking about Clark. This is someone who is supposed to be an impartial analyst, but instead, she's letting her personal bias leak into her commentary. McNutt has even been caught on social media liking and retweeting posts that downplay Clark's achievements. These are not the actions of a professional analyst, they're the actions of someone with a personal agenda. This is not just about basketball analysis. This is about a personal bias against Caitlin Clark, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. It's frustrating for fans who see Clark for what she truly is, an incredibly skilled player who's changing the game. It's time for McNutt and others to give credit where credit is due. So, what makes Mychal Thompson's defense of Caitlin Clark so powerful? It's simple. Thompson isn't just some former NBA player giving praise for the sake of publicity. He's a two-time NBA champion with decades of experience at the highest levels of basketball. He's been there. He's seen the legends of the game up close, played alongside Magic Johnson, and raised a son who's one of the most prolific shooters in NBA history. When Thompson speaks, it carries weight. His words aren't just based on headlines or social media chatter. They come from a deep understanding of the game. Thompson's praise of Clark isn't about jumping on a bandwagon or capitalizing on a trending story. It's about genuine respect. He recognizes Caitlin Clark's unique ability to change the sport. From her shooting range to her court vision to her leadership, Thompson sees what makes her special in a way that McNutt clearly doesn't. And this is where Thompson's defense of Clark becomes so impactful. He's not talking from a place of bias or jealousy. He's talking from a place of knowledge, experience, and a deep love for the game. Unlike McNutt, Thompson isn't clouded by petty bias or personal agendas. When he acknowledges Caitlin Clark's greatness, it's rooted in basketball knowledge that few can match. That's what makes his words resonate with fans, players, and analysts alike. McNutt, on the other hand, seems stuck in a narrative of dismissiveness, focusing on everything but Clark's basketball brilliance. Thompson's praise doesn't come from a place of trying to create controversy. It comes from recognizing something rare and special in the world of basketball. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark's legacy isn't going to be defined by the biased opinions of a few. It's going to be defined by her skills on the court, her ability to inspire a new generation of players, and the way she's changing the landscape of women's basketball. As Mychal Thompson said, her game is different, and it's what people are drawn to. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Thompson's assessment of Caitlin Clark, or do you think McNutt has a point? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're as excited as we are about Caitlin Clark's rise, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest basketball drama. Check out our next video, and we'll see you in the next one.